Hey everybody, this is Al Johnson from the Al Johnson Show, and I wanted to come up here and I guess talk a little wrestling, if I may, and talk about the upcoming SummerSlam event and why, outside of maybe two matches, I'm not interested. But ultimately, I guess that's kind of how I am with wrestling today. It's just that Uh, it's that wrestling is not feeling as special as it used to, especially right now where we're going into WWE SummerSlam, which is titled as the biggest party of the summer, and this year's SummerSlam is feeling anything less than. Like I said, there's probably only two matches that has me like hmm. But other than that, the card for the two-night event as it's currently shaping up, it's just Oh, did I say two? Pardon me. I meant three. There are three matches that has me like three. So like to give a quick little rundown of the current SummerSlam 2026 card, you have Femi versus Brock Lesnar, Heck in a Sec. If you know, you know. You have Penta versus Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship. You got Royce Keys, Solo Sikoa, and L.A. Knight. Yeah. Against Jimmy J. Uso and Jacob Fatu, the Bloodline. You have Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. You have Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship, and you have Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Another match that is looking like to be on the card, or at least next two matches or three matches that might be four that might be on the card. We have SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis versus Gunther, Otis and Akira Tozawa, Alpha Academy versus Austin Theory and Braun Breaker, division for the World Tag Team titles, Rhea Ripley in whatever angle for the WWE Women's Championship, and Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill. Those are the ones that I could think of about what might happen here. The others, but like, I kind of 8 matches that are currently on the board, and like I said, only 3 has my interest. And what are those 3 matches? Well, it's Heck in a Sec, Cody Punk, and Femi Brock Lesnar. The other matches, one is like a maybe, but the others, like the 6-man tag. Why is this happening? It's to further a Bloodline storyline, but the Bloodline should have ended 2 years ago after WrestleMania 40 when Cody won. Why is it still trucking along? Yeah, Io Sky is fighting Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship because Io Sky won the Queen of the Ring tournament, which guarantees her a shot at the championship. But to remind you guys something, Liv Morgan, through no fault of her own, but merely the fault of WWE creative writing and production, Liv Morgan has not defended the Women's World Championship since she won it at WrestleMania 42 this year. She's won it, when was WrestleMania 42? Like in April? We're now about to come up on SummerSlam, which is next month. She has not defended it once. And it sucks. I get it, because WWE, they had a plan to have Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer have a rematch or whatever else in between then and SummerSlam. And Stephanie Vaquer unfortunately went out with an injury, and WWE is like, what do we do here? And put Liv Morgan the women's world champion in the Queen of the Ring tournament, and she made it to the finals. What? Really, in what world does a women's champion, a main women's champion, is in a tournament to see who will fight the main champion at SummerSlam? That still makes no sense. Again, through no fault of her own. It's not her fault. What else? That's two. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. I'm sure that match is going to be a banger. I am certain that match is going to be a banger. Like I said, I'm intrigued by it. It's not like I don't care to see this match. Of course I do. But still, it's just like, cool. I know it's going to be a banger, but like again, it didn't need to happen the way it did. Seth Rollins was in the King of the Ring tournament. He lost, I believe, in the first round, and he got a title shot. But Obafemi, the man who won the tournament, decided to pause his championship match at a future date to deal with Brock Lesnar. What? Then, let's see. Am I forgetting something? Oh, yeah. Penta and Chad Gable. I am looking forward to that match, primarily because of Chad Gable. I've enjoyed seeing Penta have a phenomenal run as Intercontinental Champion. Chad Gable is coming off of doing his crazy storyline where he was a masked wrestler, disrespecting Lucha Libre, and then after losing a mask versus mask match in AAA, he's now gained an appreciation and a respect for Lucha Libre and is getting back on his feet. SummerSlam is in his hometown of Minneapolis. He has to win the championship. Early prediction, he has to win the championship. He has to win the championship. Cody and Punk, it sucks that Sami Zayn, who was WWE champion for 9 days, is not factored in this match, and that he lost the championship last week on Raw in Chicago to Punk so he can get this match. But then again, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes have been back in WWE for 3 to 4 years, and they have not wrestled each other. That is something I'm really looking forward to seeing. And then Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, heck in a sec. Man, if this is going to be Brock Lesnar's official last match, not like it was at WrestleMania where, it was a retirement, but then he reneged on it to come back and mess with Obafemi, which was weird. I'm curious about that because of the Sec match. Because I grew up watching that match. It is violent, it's bloody, but man, does it always do the trick. Hasn't done the trick in many years because they had like a pay-per-view onto its own where every match, or nearly every match, was inside of a sec, which makes no sense to me. It never made any sense to me, but ever since that pay-per-view died a beautiful death, we got back to where the sec match was important to end rivalries. Again, Obafemi, like I said, he won King of the Ring. He's guaranteed a championship match down the line, and he put that on pause to deal with Brock. And I believe he said on Raw, he said like, you called me dumb for giving up my championship opportunity when you and I both know, Paul Heyman, that if I would have went through with my championship match, Brock would have cost me the championship. Which does somewhat make sense. It does somewhat make sense because, yeah, that would happen. But then it's like, why pause on the opportunity to deal with Brock? That makes no sense. But yeah, like I said, outside of those three matches, I mean, I know for a fact Vision, Alpha Academy, like Alpha Academy, if they get the opportunity at SummerSlam, they're gonna win. They are for sure gonna win and reunite with Chad Gable, who will win the Intercontinental Championship. Rhea Ripley, who has been injured since I think for like about a month now, maybe even almost two. She's been like nursing a knee injury and she hasn't defended the championship. And it's looking like either she'll try her best to make it to SummerSlam to defend, or she'll have to relinquish the championship. And then we get to Jade and Charlotte, which will inevitably be for the vacant championship, which I can't believe I'm saying this because I ain't that big a fan of hers, because talk about Nepo baby. But the current run Charlotte Flair has been on since teaming with Alexa Bliss has me begrudgingly saying, I hope she wins the championship. Even though, again, I'm not a big fan of her. Not to say I used to. I like Charlotte Flair, great wrestler, but it's like the constancy. New word. The constancy of her winning the women's championship or being in the women's championship picture for the last 10 years, it was monotonous. It was too much. But now, this time, if it does happen and Rhea can't make it, this time I'm like, I can see it happening. I can for sure see it happen. But yeah, like I said, yeah, SummerSlam ain't looking all that special this year compared to previously. I remember SummerSlam on my 10th birthday, August 25th, 2002. Speaking of Brock Lesnar, he won the WWE Championship in the main event. And you had Triple H and Shawn Michaels in that classic unsanctioned match. And SummerSlam has had a lot of great memories for me. But like I said, wrestling ain't looking all that special today. And unfortunately, SummerSlam, a pay-per-view I grew up watching like WrestleMania, has kind of lost its luster. But like I said, Penta Gable, Cody Punk, Oba Femi Brock, all the matches I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to. If I'm not looking forward to those matches, I am very, very intrigued for those matches. But yeah, right now, SummerSlam this year ain't looking all that hot. And it's a 2-night SummerSlam. And currently right now, both nights ain't even sold out. Again, lower the ticket prices. Whatever. But anyway, guys, yeah, that's my thoughts on what's going on with SummerSlam this year and why it doesn't feel special. But let me know down below if you guys are looking forward to this year's SummerSlam, or you kind of feeling like me, in which SummerSlam is. Thank you all for watching. Let me know down below how you feel. And as always, make sure you all do the following. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell whenever new videos are released. Thank you all for watching. I've been Al Johnson, and you're not.